Well, howdy there. Got a question. Have you ever wanted to get up and yell so loud that the whole world would hear you? You might not know why, or again, you might know exactly why. One thing's for sure, when it's all said and done, you're pretty sure nothing much is going to change. You just know you've got to yell. You could say that's what I'm doing today. Well, howdy. I'm glad to see you're here. My name's Wally, and I figure you know what your name is. Now, let's see what Grandpa Wally's got to say today. I'm wondering, do you drop pebbles? I suspect you do, whether you realize what you're doing or not. Now, I believe in dropping pebbles. I believe the ripples might touch others, so I do my best to drop a pebble just as often as I can. So here I am, dropping a pebble in still water once again. A funny thing happened the other morning. I woke up singing "Swing Low, Sweet Chariot." Now that's not a song I pull out often, not unless something deep's been stirring, and I don't know where it came from. But it maybe was a dream, maybe something I needed to hear. But I laid there thinking about it, and I realized, well, that song isn't just about the end of time for anybody. It's also a reminder that something inside us could be, maybe, ready for a change. That maybe a part of me, some old fear I've carried too long, is ready to be let go. Not because I'm done with it, but because I'm finally ready to move on. Be lighter, be truer, maybe even get that feeling of being freer. So, here goes. Now, I've never felt that I'm enough. How's that for a pebble drop? That may sound like a hell of a thing to say out loud. Maybe it is. I don't know. But I'm saying it anyways. I've never heard anyone talk about not feeling like they're enough. Maybe the discussions are out there. Maybe they're hidden under fancier titles. But I suspect it's the core of what screws up a whole lot of folks. I know it's done a hell of a job on me. I'm certain I'm not the only one. From the ones who sink away into obscurity to the ones who claw and fight to be tyrants that they become. I think they're all wrestling with the demon, the same demon, hiding secrets like they don't feel they're enough. Now, I can't say how it works for others, but for me, I know it would be easy to say it was someone else's fault. Maybe it was my upbringing, or maybe it was the whole dang world working on wearing me down like it can and like it does. I ain't about to tell you I know for certain. But the truth is, it's fear. Fear of what others might think of me. Fear that if folks knew me, they'd turn away. In fact, I've always figured that they'd run away just as fast as they could. Now, my fear had everything to do with feeling like I wasn't put together right. That I was broken. That I was inadequate. That I didn't have the rule book that explains how I'm supposed to live my life. So let's call what I'm about to share a part of my therapy, a part of me letting go of a weight. I've been dragging it around long enough. Matter of fact, I've been dragging it around all my life. Because, even though I'm not sure there's ever a good time for such things, for me, just now, I'm thinking this is as good a time as any. Now for me, there's always been a kind of fear that isn't loud. It doesn't slam doors or shout from rooftops. It just sits there and settles. It's quiet, constant, and it's heavy in a way that's kept me from ever feeling I could be the whole of me. I've carried that kind of fear all my life. Some of it's about how I see myself, for sure. Some of it's about how I figured the world would see me if they knew about all the pieces of who I am. But maybe it's time to share one of those pieces here. Not because I have to. Sure, not because I'm looking for anything from anyone. But because carrying it in silence doesn't serve me at all anymore. I'm a man who wears a cowboy hat, have worn one for some time. I'm a man who's strummed a guitar and sung songs under the stars on the Sonoran Desert. I've told stories around campfires, walked dusty trails, and spent time talking with my ghosts. But that's not the all of me. Now maybe a quick story can help. Now back in high school, I played basketball. During one game, I was fouled and went to the free throw line. Now I was standing there ready to shoot. I remember taking a deep breath, but not for the shot I was going to take. It was for something else, for something I kept hidden deep inside me. It was a fear I was certain was far worse than maybe missing the free throw. Now I looked over at the cheerleaders and thought, man, I wish I could wear those things those girls wear. They get to wear all the pretty stuff. Now I can't tell you whether or not I made the free throw, but I do remember that feeling because I've felt it all my life. That's just a part of my story with my hidden fear. Not the whole story, of course, but it is part of my life I've spent afraid to speak out loud. Fear told me it wasn't safe to be fully seen. Fear told me I'd lose something if I was honest about all of me. But here's the truth. Nothing real is ever lost but being real. It wasn't just that fear though. There was another one that rode right alongside it. The fear that deep down, maybe I was never really enough to begin with. Not good enough, not strong enough, and sure not lovable enough. I don't know where that fear started. Maybe somewhere back in childhood. Maybe it just came with the package. But I know it settled in deep and it shaped a lot of the way I lived. I tried hard to be the man folks expected. Sure enough, the man that I thought I was supposed to be. I was tough when I had to be, quiet about the things that hurt, stoic about the things that scared me. And for a long time I figured that was just the way it was, and just the way it was always going to be. Don't show your cracks. Don't tell the truth of who you are. Just keep riding in silence, even if inside you're lost and broken. But here's the thing about fear. It doesn't protect you. It just keeps you small. It locks you in a corral and tells you the open prairies just aren't for you. They're just too much. You're never going to be able to fit in. And after a while, you start believing it. Now, I still carry fear. I ain't about to sit here and tell you otherwise. But today, I carry it differently. I don't let it sit up front anymore. It rides in the back where it belongs. It sits in the back because, well, this unfinished journey I'm on, it's about being real, even when it's uncomfortable. It's about saying, here's who I am. Here's the road I'm on. Here's the road I've traveled. Here's the dirt still clinging to the boots. Now it all scares some folks for sure, I know. So be it. But maybe, just maybe, it'll let someone else know they're not the only one carrying the heavy things. Maybe it gives someone else permission to put their fears in the back seat for a while and keep riding along their trail. Now that's what I'm hoping for. Well, this has been me, dropping a pebble. Thanks for listening. Now be good to others, be even better to yourself. And drop a pebble for the fearful. And hey, if any of this stirred something in you, I'd sure be grateful if you'd stick around and maybe leave a comment. I do read them. So until next time, let's make the journey unfinished and unforgettable. Happy trails.